Hello, 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 everybody. Let me remove some banners real quick. Da, da, da. And the hide current banner. Hello, hello. Hi, can everybody hear me? How's everybody doing on this wonderful Global Hack Week? Can everybody hear me all right? Yes, no. Mic working, mic not working. Possibly. Hello? Is anything coming through on chat? All right, perfect. Well, hello, hi, everybody. Welcome to my Global Hack Week stream. Today we're going to be doing a workshop on setting up a bot that will help you find those campsites. Because I don't know about you, but campsites, especially nowadays, are extremely hard to find because everybody wants to go camping, and there's only so many sites that you can use. So, oftentimes you go to you pick out a weekend, all your friends get together, and you're like, all right, this weekend works for all of us, but there's not a single campsite available, and you're stuck guessing, trying to find the right thing that works, and it's just not a fun time. But there's plenty of ways that you can use open APIs to find that campsite, make sure that the second it's available, you can get it, and have a good time with it. So, let me very quickly do a little bit of change here in the setup. We're going to tear down the campfire. We'll keep the campfire sounds going. It should still be kind of playing in the background, and I'll keep the background music going a little bit in the back. But how's everybody doing? Everyone having a good Global Hack Week? Thumbs up, thumbs down, super awesome, kind of lame? Nah, not kind of lame. It's been a great Global Hack Week if you ask me. And let's get started. So, suppose you wanted to go book a campsite. You just go, how do I book a campsite? If you go, how do I book a campsite, you'll eventually find your way down to recreation.gov. Recreation.gov is a super duper neat website which shows you all the different campsites here in the U.S. across all the different national parks they have, or national and state parks. So they have this wonderful map. Let me see if I can full screen this map. Maybe not, but I can zoom in all right. And as you can see, we got tons and tons of campsites to pick from. So let's say you wanted to go, I don't know, to somewhere around Yellowstone, right around here. Where is Yellowstone? It's Beaverhead. That's somebody's cavern. There it is, Yellowstone National Park. You can go and take a look at it. And it'll show you all the different campsites. So here you got some information stations all around the park. Let's pull up the legend here so we can see. There's no camping in the park, but there is a ton of camping near the park. So we got all these wonderful campsites. We got a cabin there. We got some Box Canyon campgrounds, Upper Coffee Pot. Super neat places, honestly. But, you know, I bet if I go here, view the site. Sorry, these are all not available to reserve. Let's pick one that does have reservations. What would that one be? That looks like the kind of place that would have reservations. Yep. As you can see, they are reserved, just completely reserved. Love the blue. Thank you. If we look ahead, reserved, and it's pretty much reserved all throughout the whole summer, almost. Just constantly. Like, the first weekend that you could get would be July 21st to the 23rd. So, kind of stinks if, you wanted to go camping, in June and there's not a single available weekend for you. But never fear, there's plenty of different ways for you to get around this. And with that, we're going to take a look a little bit at APIs that we can use to get those awesome campsites. So, government sometimes has some pretty neat things that if you just know what to search, you might be able to find it. So we're going to go recreation.gov API. It's going to search that. And one of the first results here is use and share our data. Data is its most valuable asset, and we allow everyone to use it available for free to anyone who envisions a variety of uses. They want people to build off their API and make some cool stuff with it, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. And they even have this technical documentation on their API. You can go to the RIDB webpage. You can go check that out. Alrighty. Well, let's see, API documentation. So what is this? The Recreational Information Database. It's a recreation one-stop program which oversees the operation of the recreation.gov, a user-friendly, web-based resource to citizens, offering a single point of access to information about recreational opportunities nationwide. So, you're looking for information about some of the stuff you could do at some of these campgrounds. It's all right here, and it's this rich database curated by the National Park Service with all sorts of information. So they have different activities that you could do, camping, fishing, hiking, that sort of stuff. The facilities, you can look up campsites, get the attributes for each campsite. That'll be important if we want to, find campsites that have access to the certain resources, like, I don't know, bathrooms or a water spigot. Get all campsites, which will give you every single campsite that they have. You can put in a query filter there, such as the campsite name, type, loop, accessible, that kind of stuff. You can get specific campsite IDs. That's going to be important, probably. Each campsite having their own ID. And yeah, I will gladly share resources about what this is. This is the recreation.gov database, which I'll paste in chat. There you go. And so this API is something that you can use to find lots of information about campsites. So why don't we try some of these? First off, we probably need some sort of API key. So let's go here and see if it says anything about it. By registering to use the API, you are agreeing to comply with the API access. Should be somewhere here. API access. Oh, API key. So we need some sort of authorization to use this API. I believe we can just sign in with our recreation.gov email, which I already have one. Huzzah! If you don't have one, then you can make a recreation.gov account. And with that, I believe I can just go here and get a new API key. I'm going to regenerate it after this, so that way you don't have to you're not going to be able to steal my API key, basically. But hopscotch is something that we can use to look at or make requests. Looks like all these are GET requests, and it really is just a way for us to get data from recreation.gov. So why don't we try some of these? Let's see. Search activities. Yeah, why don't we give it a go? So it looks like all of these are going to be at I believe it's this URL. And I'll zoom in a little bit. Yep. Get request at that / activities. Can I highlight? I can't highlight. That's cool. Activities, we need some sort of authorization. I believe all we need to do is pass our API key. Let's see, authorization. It's probably a bearer token, if I had to guess. And I need to go grab that key again, because I've already lost it. One moment. Gonna just drag that down here. One moment. Doing things off screen momentarily. All right, we got our key there. I'm just gonna send this request. And it says error. Oh boy. Well, why don't we have both next to each other so we can take a look at why we might be getting some sort of error. Recreation.gov. /activities, API documentation. Example. Let's see. What could I be doing wrong? Authorize. Try it out. Oh, here they give an example of it. Doy. We need to put API key in the header. That's what it is. Okay. So, we can API key in the header. Can you explain the project you build for today's session? Yep. The whole idea for today's project is we want to be able to find campsites. So if you want to go camping in June, but the weekend that you planned out with you and all your friends, it's reserved. Let's say you wanted to go this weekend. There we go. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday are reserved, so you're not able to find that campsite. But oftentimes people will just cancel their reservation, and at that point they instantly pop right back up on recreation.gov, and you want to be able to be one of the first people to find out that somebody canceled, and then be able to register for the campsite. So we're going to be using the recreation.gov API to figure out the availability of a campsite, and then query that availability once every 5 minutes or so to see if there is any availability for the campground. And then after that, we will be able to send a notification somehow. Could use Twilio, could use Discord, we could just send an old-fashioned email and have a notification saying, hey, your campsite's available. And right now, we are playing around with the recreation.gov API, so that way we can get sorry, I keep forgetting to copy and paste this. We need API key there, parameters, and now if we send it, bad request. Oh, that's right, because this is the full URL. Now we can try. We might also need to throw in nope, we have content type there. Although actually we don't need any clear no body. Headers, let's add a new header, and that's just going to be accept application JSON. We can delete that, just remove that, and send it on over. And would you look at that? All the different activities. So they have auto touring, biking, boating, climbing, etc. Awesome. I also just realized that this is streaming something weird. It's not streaming the whole window, so I'm gonna very quickly present, share screen, window, oh no, entire screen. There we go. And let me add that to the stream. There we go. Sorry about that. So now we have now these are all different activities, and we have a kind of better feel about how we use this API. So why don't we now start messing with it? Campsites. Retrieve all campsites. See, it sounds like it'll give us a lot of campsites, but why don't we take a look? Campsites send. It's probably gonna, well, it's gonna give us 50 campsites, but we'll see what it does. Campsite ID. Lots of information about it. It doesn't really tell us where the campground is, but maybe this campsite ID is going to be something helpful. So why don't we check out recreation.gov again and just look at campsites. Actually, I have that one open right here. Let's drag you over here. Not what I wanted to do. There we go. And kind of hard to see because I can't really zoom into the URL. But if you look here, the URL is, and I guess I'll just make it big or something. recreation.gov/camping/campgrounds/234576. I wonder if 234576 is the campsite ID. So why don't we look at the response that we got? 10, 200, 738. Let's just chuck it into the URL. Nope, it's not. I thought that was gonna work. Oopsies. Then what is this campsite ID that it's giving us? Well, why don't we take a look here and see what it'll tell us. Where are we going camping? Well, right now, it looks like we're going camping nowhere because we got a bear with them. We're going to the Caribou Targhee National Forest in Idaho. We can even learn a little bit more about it. Beautiful mountains, 7 points of interest, and lots of super neat activities to do. But right now we're kind of digging through the data that we get when we ping the recreation.gov API and learn about campsites. So it gives us a campsite ID, but it doesn't seem to be the ID we want. So why don't we try looking at this campground and open up one of the campsites. So there are campgrounds. Again, let me show this. Also, the royalty free music is now singing, and I'm going to find something else that has no vocals in it, because... Alright, let's try this. More campy campground music. Alrighty. What is the role of API in something like this? Well, first off, the API gives us access to all of the data that recreation.gov has. So if we want to learn more about campgrounds, we can go to the website here and take a look and go through and see all the information that it might have about the campground and that kind of stuff. Or if we want to do something programmatic with it, we can use the recreation.gov API to figure out or to query it. So here it'll tell you all the attributes about the campsite, whatever attribute ID, campground name, and we're about to figure that out here. But we just figured out that campsites and campgrounds are two separate things. So each campground has multiple campsites. So if we look at the campsite for this place, the one from the query that we made, hey, we found it. It is site overflow loop overflow at Campy McCampface. Clearly, this is a demo that they have set up for us. But Campy McCampface, this is where we're going to be camping, in fact. Where is Campy McCampface? This page is for testing purposes only. The campground does not exist. Do not book. Any unintended reservations may be canceled and refunded. I love this. I love that they have Campy McCampface as an actual place. In the this is live. This is This is This is an actual place. I did not intend to find this. Oh boy. I am so impressed that this exists. And I am 100% going to be using this exact campground to figure out stuff about where we're going camping. Because we're all going... This is a camping trip. We're all going camping together. And don't worry, we'll get to camp events later. I don't think this API thing is going to be too long. And behind me, I do have a tent that I do intend to attempt to put up on stream later. So stick around for that, because I am very bad at putting up tents, and it's going to be interesting. I promise. I also realized that I probably could switch my camera here. One moment. And oh, there's two of me. Ah! All right, it's a little bit better view now. You can, see me in more high definition. We'll switch to the other one when I'm putting a tent up. But let's kind of get with it here. So we have campsites. Campsites gives us all the campsites. But if we look at one of these campsites, and I'm going to just kind of look through over here what it gives us. Gives us campsite IDs, names, type of campsite, that kind of stuff. But it doesn't really give us anything about when the campsite's available. Can you try maybe we can see what campsites are available here. I think I see a lot of these campsites are available. Bodie McBoatface Canada, yes. I honestly, there's some like intern or something, some developer over at like recreation.gov that put this together, and I appreciate them to no end. So yeah, there has to be some sort of way for us to determine the availability of campsites. If we hit refresh, it even refreshes the availability of all the campsites. And this is where I'm going to get a little bit sneaky. We're going to inspect this, because over here, it doesn't look like there's any way to determine whether or not a campsite is booked. Just tell us information about the campsite, which, while is useful, doesn't necessarily help us in what we're trying to do, and that's find out when a campsite is available. So let's take a look over here. And what I like doing, and what I think I can zoom in. Yeah, and we're gonna do this. New tab. Oh gosh, things have frozen. My computer did not like that. Can everyone hear me? Are we alive still? Okay, cool. I'm gonna just drag this over to a new workspace. That way we have a whole window here to look at this. And I'm also gonna dock this to the side, so that way we can kind of take a look at both. There we go. All right. So we know that when we hit refresh here, it refreshes all these campsites. In Chrome, which is what I'm using right now, there's a network tag, which you can use to take a look at data that's coming in and out of your website. So let me. Is there a clear button? Clear. Okay. Well, we're recording network activity. If I hit this refresh button, something fun might happen. So we're gonna press it. Hey, would you look at that? There's a URL here. Month, question mark, date. And if you look at the full URL, which, oh gosh. If you look at the full URL, which we can find in the headers. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. It says https recreation.gov API, spoiler alert, this might be something useful, camps, availability, campground, and then it has a campground ID, and then month and a start date for that month. Does anyone think that's useful? Does anyone think that might be exactly what we're looking for? Just me? Maybe the banjos are getting to me. Maybe I'm having too much fun with this. Well, why don't we take a peek at what happens if we go ping this endpoint? I'm just going to do this. Boop. No reservable management. Okay, well, that seems not useful. But let's start here. So we have campsites, and then we have a list of a bunch of campsites. So we got that one there, that one there, that one there. This is test standard site number 1. Let's see the name of this one. This one's test standard site number 2. And we have a list of availabilities for each one of these things for the month of April. So you can see it's not available on those days, not reservable, and then available on all the rest of them. Not reservable, but sometimes they are reservable. And I don't know what these quantities are, but they don't seem to correspond with the reservability. So this might be something that we would like to look at. So why don't we start writing a little bit of code? Let's get going here. Visual Studio Code. I'm going to pop this open. Oh boy, it's really zoomed in. We're going to make a new folder here. Projects or campsites. We're going to call it campsites. Alrighty. So I like using Python, which is what we're going to be using today. We're going to call this campsites.py. All right, so we're going to need a couple things to get started here. We're going to need a way to make our requests. So I'm going to, one moment. Oh boy, my computer is upset again. I have done terrible things to the window manager for my computer and that I need to fix. And I'm going to open up a new window because I have a very fun fact about this project. This project I actually have already built. I built it for myself like a week or two ago, and I was showing Ryan about it when I was at Rowdy Hacks, and Ryan was so excited about it. He told me I absolutely need to do a workshop on it because this is the exact type of thing that's perfect for API Week. And so this is a real world example of me wanting to play with an API. I actually had a legitimate usage for this, and it did book me a campsite at Joshua Tree. So I have like empirical, like real world proof that this is going to work. I promise you. All right, so we need a couple things. We need something to make requests with. I like using the requests library. We're going to need, honestly, let's just start with that. Let's just start with the request library and see where we go. I am also going to create a, we'll start with that. So requests library, and let's play around with this URL. So the request that we made is this. Requests, HTTPS recreation.gov, API camps, availability, campground. And then we have this right here, some numbers. We discussed earlier that there are differences between campgrounds and campsites. So a campground is a collection of campsites. So this number right here, and I'm going to convert this to an F string, is going to be our campsite ID. And then after that, we have month and then a parameter. And this looks like the date for the start of the month. when we want to get our campsite. And it is a little bit URL formatted. So if we look here, we got a year. So I'm going to go year, month, day, day. And then it looks like the time is going to be 000000, and then a time zone of 000Z. These %3s here are %3As are URL encoded colons. And that right there, it seems to be what we need to pass for this month or this start date. So I'm going to do a start, START, date. And so we have two things that we need to pass to this. We're going to have a campsite ID, and we're going to use our fun Campy McCampface campsite. And we need a start date. I really like, there's a library I really, really like, and that is called Arrow. And I'm going to use that right now. Import Arrow. Arrow lets you do a lot of fun things with dates, I guess. That's the best way I put it. So you can say our start date is arrow.get 2023 05 or 04 01, because that's the start date they want us to get. And I'm going to open up a little Python terminal so we can actually play around with some of these. One moment. Terminal starting, terminal thinking, terminal wondering what's going on. Oh, I need to hit plus, don't I? Or maybe things are just not working. That's weird. Okay, well, oh boy, I don't have a terminal. That's super strange, and I'm not sure what that's about. Why would I not have a terminal? I guess we're going to do this in an actual terminal instead of the terminal that I have here. So let's do this. ls clear j project cd campsites. All right. So I'm just going to open Python, and I'm just going to start playing around with the stuff so we can get a better idea about what sorts of responses and that kind of stuff we're going to get from our API here. And this does not like being, oh, whatever. Import request or import arrow. Oh, yes, of course. Let me grab that link for the registration for the session. It is right over here. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to very quickly stop. I have two screen shares technically. I'm doing some weird stuff behind the scenes in StreamYard that is making my computer very upset. But let me grab that link for you. Link. Alrighty. And sent out to everybody. That is the link to register for this event. You get lots of points for being here. I think it's really cool that you're here, so definitely check it out. We're going to do arrow.get 2023 04 01. And now if we look at start date, it's an object. Arrow lets us format that, and we can format that in the way that we need it. So why did I delete that? Anyway, we need year. And I'll pull it up here so that way we can see it again. We need a year, a month, a date, and then we need T, minute, hour, minute, second, and then we need a .000Z at the end of it. And if we do that, it'll probably be upset with me about something, but let's try it. Yeah. It is not like the .000Z. Z is technically a time zone, and it just gets upset with you. So now we have the date formatted how it needs to be formatted. Um, Although specifically, it wants 00 and not 12. So we're going to do HH. There we go. So how this works here, and I'll put this right here. How this all works is it will take our dates and format it in the way that we need it. So it's year, month, day, hour, minute, second, and then some time zone information that, as far as I can tell, it's not like a standard way of doing your time zone. So you have to kind of do a little hacky work around there. But now we have a URL that we can work with. And now we just need to make the request. So let me... sorry, computer upset about something. All right. We actually don't need this right here, and I'll show you why in a moment. This is the base URL for all the stuff that we need. So if we do requests.get URL, comma, params equals start date, and then we do start date. It should now give us something. So why don't we give it a test real quick? Copy and paste all that in there. And we get a 403. I know. Oh no. Data. Response dot. Oh, what's the thing that we need? Text. What does it say? Kind of hard to see. The request could not be satisfied. We cannot connect to the server for the app of this website. It might be too much traffic. Try again, or a configuration error. So, why don't we figure out what the configuration error might be then? Let's see. 403 response code. Something about not having the right thing. But I will cut to the chase here and show you how we get around that. I know, just from experience of testing around with this, one of the ways that we can figure out what's wrong with it is looking at the header and seeing request headers. What are the things that were in it? So we have like a method, a path, a scheme, except that defaults to the header that we sent defaulted to having that. So if I do response headers, yep, all that's in there. So we have server, date, content type, that sort of stuff. But one of the ones that we are missing is this user agent. So it wants to know what kind of person or entity is making this request. So we're going to put in our header user agent, and I'll put, I don't know, custom agents. Let's see if that gets us anywhere. Hey, response 200. So why don't we do this, that we can actually look at it. Response okay, yes, and then we can look at the text. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff, but it looks very similar in structure to the stuff that we had previously. Right over here, we see campsites, we see a number there, we see availabilities, and hey, would you look at that? It's our campsites. It's all the information that we might need to figure out our campground. So let's start making this into functions and playing around with it. We now know that we can get a response here, and so let's clean this up a little bit. We're gonna make some functions here. Def check campground, and in this we're gonna take some campground. some campground, some start date, some end date. And this will be the campground ID for the campground that we want to find. So in this case, our Campy McCampface will have all of the campgrounds for this. So our campsite ID, sorry, this shouldn't be campsite ID. This should be campground ID. How did I not catch that? Anyway, our campground ID will be the campground that we want to book. And that will return to us a list of campsites. So we're going to have our URL here. Our URL is going to be this recreation.gov, API, camps, availability, campground, our campground ID, and then the month. We're going to make a request to that. Let's see. How do we want to do this? We have a start date, right? So we can go ahead and convert our start date into the thing or the URL that this wants. One thing that I'd learned from playing around with this is, let's say we want to camp on April 23rd. Only the first of the month is allowed for this request. So we can only look at months based on the very first day of the month, which is a little bit of a weird thing that they've done. So what we're going to do is we're going to do start date or month date equals start date dot format, because we're going to pass just a date string here. Yeah. And we're going to do that thing that we did earlier with the year, month, day. But instead of going day, we're just going to do 0, 1 to say this is the first of the month. And then we also need that weird 0.000z information. And so this will take the start date that we had. So let's say April 23rd and convert it to April 1st. So that way we always start at the beginning of the month. And we'll worry about the edge case of if we try to go camping over the weekend or something a little bit later. So now we're going to find our campsites. Right, so let's make that request. Request equals requests requests dot get URL. We have our params. Actually, it's this request right here. Why do things when you can have already done them? So you don't need to think about it too hard. So we have our request that we make, and we can delete that part. I'll worry about start date in a moment, because let's say we wanted to do one of the weekends. Let's find a weekend that we want to go camping. April 14th. Sure. Let's go camping from April 14th to the 16th. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Everyone fine with that? Everyone free that weekend for camping? Good time camping, bad time camping? All right, I'm assuming everyone's free that weekend for camping. I expect you to be at Camping McCampface that weekend. All right, so we got our URL. And let's take a look again at the sort of stuff that we get. So the first thing that we get is campsites. So I'm going to very quickly convert this into JSON. So sites equals. So we're going to convert the data that we get into a JSON, and then we're going to pull up the campsites. And then if I do for site in campsites, and that will iterate through all the campsites. So we will have these IDs for each of the campsites. We can then say, we can then create a list of all the campsites that are available. So let's go avail available equals that. I can spell. If check, and we're going to make a new function, check site, because we already have check campground. We'll check campsite. If check campsite, site's site, which will pull out that information. Comma, we're going to pass our start dates and our end dates. So if the campsite that we want is available, then we're going to go available. I can't spell. This is what happens when I am me. Available dot append site. Cool. And then we'll do a little bit of error handling here. We'll say error finding campground campsite. Yada yada yada. Yada yada yada. Okay. And then we'll have it return available. Why is it not auto-completing my available stuff? That's a great question. All right. Does everyone kind of understand what we're doing here? We got our URL here that will give us data that looks exactly like this. Campsites with a list of all the campsites. We're going to iterate over all those campsites, and we're going to check each campsite, and we'll write that function in a bit. And then from there, we will manage, or we will append that campsite if that campsite is available. So let's define that check campsite function. Campsite, start date and date. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at it. So we're going to make a set, and we're going to call that set free. And you'll see why momentarily. For campground and sorry. How am I doing this? Check campground, check site. Yeah, check campsite. Okay, there we go. All right. Checks equals this. So we're still gonna call this free actually. For dates and site availabilities, I'm gonna copy the word availabilities because I know I'm gonna spell it incorrectly. Actually, before we do that, why don't we test a little bit of our code? And I'm just gonna make sure that this is printing site. We can even have it print the site name. Why don't we do that? Campsite name. Campsite name. Okay. Print site. It looks like the name is this value site here. So we'll do campsites site. Sorry. Site. Site. So let's see if this works for us. Why did I close my terminal? I don't know. Probably because this should be here. This should be, no. No. There we go. Let's try that. That looks cleaner. And let's zoom in on the terminal. Okay, cool. J campsite. Cool. All right. We're gonna just rerun a bunch of stuff here. I'm just gonna run all this. Copy and paste. Check campground. Campground ID. Start date. End date. Error finding campsite. Oh boy. Here we go. Let's figure out what went wrong there. It's probably something to do with this URL. If I had to guess, campground ID passes properly. Start date. We called it start date and not month date. That's why. Let's try that again and run that command that I wrote out here. Aim campsites not defined. That's because I called it sites. This is why we debug things and are smart about how we do things and don't just do whatever. All right, there we go. Now it'll work. I believe it. Did I not? Oh my gosh. Oh boy. There we go. And it iterates through everything. We look at management, test standard site 1, standard site 2, test group site, blah, 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 blah. Lots of fun names for campsites. So we are getting the data and iterating over the campsites. So let's now define that check campsite function. So we have our availabilities. All we need to do now is get the date. So arrow.get date. This will take the availability here, which will be this long thing, and convert it into a date, which we then can do some very, very convenient stuff. Start date less than equal to dt, which is just the date there, and then end date. So what this will do is it will compare the date in this list. So we're iterating over all the availabilities. We're going to check if it's between our start date and our end date. And we're using greater than or equal to here because we want to start camping on our start date. But we're not going to camp the night of our end date. We're going to be leaving by then. So it's just a less than there. And now, if it meets that, then we can do checks.append site availabilities. So this will get us the availabilities. And we look at the date that we just looked at. And we care if it is available. So we're going to append the true or false value on whether or not it's available. So as you can see here, basically for the entire month of April, this is not reservable management. But something like this, it's available. This one's available, available, not reservable. So we have a variety of different campsites and with their availability varying. If we go through the check for that site, we should end up with an array. Sorry, we don't call this free. We should end up with an array of true or false values around the weekend that we care about. So let's do a little bit of return here. All free, which means that all the values in that array are true, which is what we want, because we want every one of those days in between that range to be true. And we also want to make sure that the length of it is the length of the days that we want. So we're going to do length of checks or free is equal to, and we're going to do a little bit of magic here, end date minus start date days. And arrow will then do a solid here and see how many days are in between the end date and start date. And that should be equal to the length of the values we put in check campsite. So now if we go ahead and run this, it's totally going to work on the very first time, and we're all going to clap. I believe. It's okay. What's wrong with it? Site not defined in check campground. Site. Oh, we call it campsite, don't we? campsite. Yeah. Campsite. Let's redefine this function. We're almost there, I believe. Definitely no more errors. Hey, would you look at that? We now have a list of all the campgrounds that are available. We did it. That only took us, 56 minutes. But now we have a super awesome way of figuring out which campsites are available for a given weekend. So any of these campsites, if we go and look at them, so we figured out that it was camping, campgrounds, and then if we look at a specific campsite, here, I'll even close this. We don't need this anymore. Get out of here. If we look at a specific campsite, it has a URL. So if we look at that campsite, camping campsites, this one, we find test standard site 1 is available on the days that we wanted it to be, which is super neat and awesome for us because now we're able to figure that out. So we're able to look at actual campsites and find ones that we want to book. So that's awesome. What's left to do now is connect this to something that will send us a notification somehow, and be able to perhaps choose multiple campsites or campgrounds. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a little bit, like a short 5-minute break. During that time, I would love for you to go and check out recreation.gov. Honestly, just a cool website, and find your favorite campsite, like a place that, like, from the photos of it, is absolutely where you want to go at some point in your life. A beautiful cabin up in the mountains, or something like that. Did it not send it to Twitch? Oh, no, it did. Okay. Well, I will be back in about 5 minutes. I will put the fireplace back up because it is comfy, and I like comfy fireplaces. So let me go find it. I believe I put it somewhere. Where the fireplace? That's where I put the fireplace. And we'll be back in about 5 minutes. In the meantime, let me know which campsite you want to go to. Be right back. Oh, also, I'm after the 5 minutes is up, I'm going to try pitching up a tent in my office, so that'll be super fun and exciting. And then we're gonna get into sending the request and sending some sort of notification. Okay, bye. Be right back. All right. Oh, howdy, campers. Welcome back to the stream. Can y'all hear me all good? I'm assuming you can. Boop, 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 boop. How do I remove the banner? Remove the banner. There we go. Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. We're going to look at some of the campgrounds that y'all found. Feel free to post a link in chat. You can even just send me the campsite ID now that we figured out how that works. And we can take a look at some of your favorite campgrounds. Also, wearing this hat with these headphones is kind of impossible. It's very difficult to do. So I'm going to take the hat off. Headphone. Oh, okay. I guess we're doing it this way. Any of y'all have a favorite campsite that you want to share? If not, no worries. we can just keep going. Yeah, the hat doesn't really fit with headphones. I think the hat's more for like outdoor use and like actually going into the outdoors, but we're kind of going into the outdoors today. Sort of. All right. Well, I want to look at some of the campgrounds that I really like. So let's take a look. Joshua Tree National Park. This is what I said earlier, one of the places that I was heading out to. And we can take a look at some of these campgrounds, these beautiful desert sites. This is one in particular is the one that I was super interested in. It's got a ton of neat rocks to climb on, and it's just kind of fun. It's good vibes all around, honestly. All right, and as you can see, it is reserved, very, 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 very reserved. So yeah, sort of need something like this to find it out. So with that, I'm going to now be silly on stream, professionally silly, and get some campsite or campgrounds going. One moment. We're gonna attempt to pitch a tent on stream. It's gonna be rather weird and fun. Let me go ahead and switch over cameras. It's me, but twice. Wow. All right. I'm gonna take the headphones off, but feel free. I will still be looking at chat. We're gonna attempt to put a tent up in my office. My office is kind of small, and this headphone is now tangled around my hat. But if we're going camping, we need to learn how to pitch a tent. So let me get out of my camp chair. I have been sitting in this beautiful camp chair this whole time. I took my nice office chair out of here for this part. And we've got a tent. All right. So the important part about putting up a tent is that you got to start with the right parts. Here we have a ground tarp, but I don't think there's any chance of it going to be raining in my office, so I am going to put this to the side for now. I think it's the ground tarp. Yeah, kind of looks like a ground tarp. No, this is the actual tent. This is not a ground tarp. We need this part. This is... Is there a ground tarp with it? Oh, the ground tarp is attached. No, is it? Yes, it's attached. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a little like loop thingy here that attaches the ground tarp to the tent. And we don't need the ground tarp, so I'm going to take that part off. I definitely know what I'm doing, and I've definitely gone camping hundreds of times before. I'm totally a legit camper, and I absolutely am an expert. So, camping with MLH. This is the camp stream. Camping with MLH, your camp counselor. We're gonna learn how to pitch tents so we don't die to wolves. Okay. All right. So I'm removing the ground tarp because this ground seems really soft as well, so we don't really need it either. It's a very plush feeling ground, a comfortable spot, if you will. Okay, and we're gonna take this and hand this over to the Blahajas. They'll take care of it. They'll take very good care of that. And now we got the tent. All right, so you want to lay this thing out, so that way you can. Let me move the chair out of the way. You want to lay this thing out where you want it. So here we got half of it down. I don't know if my office is big enough for this tent, but we're about to find out. Okay. Alrighty. It's sort of big enough. Not really, though. Okay. So now we need to find the tent stakes, which are the big... Or not the stakes. We're not staking this thing into my floor. That'd be bad. we need to find the poles, which are located somewhere. Did I cover them up? Are they? Sometimes the poles are underneath the tent that you just put down. That's normal. That happens occasionally. So you're gonna open up the tent pole bag. You're gonna pull them out. And then this is my favorite part, attempting to figure out which pole goes where. Because we don't look at instructions, we just kind of guess as we go. All these rubber bands around the poles to keep them all together. Can't lose those, although more than likely you will. Alrighty. You know, I can't wait for, like, Mary or Ryan to, like, hop on the stream or something and, like, just see a video of me putting up a tent and wondering, where's the coding with this? But it's very important. We can't plan our camping trip without actually knowing how to put up a tent. I am also going to be smart and turn off my fan because I am going to accidentally put this pole into the fan and break something. So, before we have an accident, I'm going to fix that problem. Alrighty. So for these, you just gotta kind of work with it. They just sort of stick together, and they all have little ropes through them. So you just that hit my ceiling. So I would have absolutely broken something. Oh, this is. I didn't really think this through in terms of how confined the space is for putting together the stakes. This is rather difficult. Okay. Yeah, so we got most of the stakes put together, at least as much as I could. So now you find the corners here. And in these corners, they have a little grommet, and I can kind of show on stream here. It's a little grommet right here that you put the stake through, or not the stake, the pole. So you start with one of the corners. Okay, you attempt to start with one of the corners. Actually, yeah, nope, this is the right way. And you put the stake through. Alright. You then get your next corner. You put your next stake through. Not stake, I keep calling them stakes. They are tent poles. In the meantime, keep looking for those cool campsites, because we gotta figure out where to put this tent. Oh boy. Okay. So we have another pole here. And these poles need to go on the other side, so I'm going to... oh boy. Okay. I haven't broken anything yet, including myself. This pole goes in here. And finally, this pole here goes down here. Alright, well, that was the hard part in my opinion, especially given the space restrictions. Now we have a couple more poles. We got these orange poles here. These need to be attached somehow. Oh, here they are. There's little grommets here on the ends of these. Let me try to get out of the way of this tent. Boy. Put that one there. Then you got the other grommet right here. Okay. My office is a little small. And this might be a larger tent than I was expecting it to be. Alright. Now's the easy part. You just take these little clips, you clip them on, And we are pretty much done. I can't get to that back corner, so I'm not going to even try. Yeah. So, we now have our tent. No clue what this piece is supposed to be, but it's probably not important. So, there we have it. Now we know how to pitch a tent. Now let's go get that campsite booked. Should I go inside the tent? I feel like I kind of need to, don't I? What do you think, chat? Do I need to go inside the tent? Yeah. Okay. Oh. Should I code inside the tent, though? That's the real question. Probably not, because I don't have access to half the stuff. Alright. Well. We've made it. Welcome to the MLH campground. Can I? Yeah, I can. Perfect. It's a nice tent. It's not mine. I borrowed it. So. Yeah. Now we have a nice comfy tent. We know how to set it up. And now we just gotta pick a campground that we can put this tent in. So, let's get going. My little homie indoor camping? You bet I am. My office just got substantially smaller, though, as now I have no access to the door to leave. Oh boy. Alrighty. Well, welcome back to the stream. I hope you all enjoyed that little side event, little fun detour in our campground stuff. If you're just now joining us, I'm sorry, you missed the best part. Just kidding. I think the best part is all the goodness that comes from putting together this putting together this code. But you did also miss me attempting to put this tent up. I mean, I don't think attempting is the right word. I did put this tent up. I'm pretty proud of it. I think I did a good job with the tent. We got our campground music. Oh no, you can hear double. There we go. All right. Nobody wants to leave anywhere? Well, we gotta leave. We gotta leave on our campground. We gotta leave on our camping trip. So, why don't we pick a campsite that is pretty popular, such as this Joshua Tree one. And as you can see, it's like pretty well reserved out for pretty much every single weekend, which is sad. So let's take a look at the camp. So this is the campgrounds. We need a campground ID. So we're going to take this one. And I'll make a little note to myself here. Campground ID. This is for the Indian Cove, Joshua Tree. Indian Cove Campground at Joshua Tree. All right. So now the question is kind of up to you. How do we want to get notifications about this? In the past, I had this use a Discord bot, and I used a library that would use the Discord API to send DMs. So I would get a DM directly from this bot anytime the campsite's available. We could do that. We could try using Twilio, which would then send us a text message when our campsite's available. We could have it send emails. That could be fun. I haven't tried that one yet. What are we feeling? Any strong preferences one way or another on how we get notified about our campgrounds? I'm going to sit here and listen to banjo music. I dislike this as much as you do. All right. Well, if that's the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with the Discord route just because it's easy and it's kind of fun. And if you've never made a Discord bot, it is so simple to use the Discord API. And I just love how easy it can be. Alrighty. So, with that in mind, let's go on over to Discord, which I'm going to very quickly switch accounts to my testing stuff accounts. All right, let's go. Do I have Nitro on this account? No, I don't. Thank gosh. All right. Well, let's make a new window here. Alrighty. Now let's make a new server, create a server. And the only reason I'm doing this is just that way I have a server for me to play with my bots in. Johnsar 2 server. That's me. Check it out. Super cool. All right. Now we have a server that I can add a bot to. So now we're going to go log into the Discord API. One moment while I do that on my other monitor because that is sensitive information. Chrome. I think I'm going to go insane with this banjo music. This is campfire music is what I searched, and I found this. So it's something. I'm going to see if I can switch it up and remove the banjo part of it. Discord developers applications. We're going to log out there. All right, log into that one. Go back to log in. One moment while I attempt to log into my Discord. I need some passcodes. This will only take a second. Okay. That's the wrong Discord username. Oh boy. Log in. Oh, come on. Do I not know the login? Oh boy. Okay. Not a problem. Let me think of how I want to do this. Oh no, it's literally stuck in my head now, isn't it? Oh boy. Okay. Not entirely certain what that is. We're gonna try this. In the meantime, have y'all ever been camping? Any fun camping experiences that y'all had? Let's try to log into Discord and reset the password on my bot account, which is not happy with me. All right, perfect. We are logged in, ready to go. Log me in. All right, so if you want to follow along and make your own Discord bot to do this with, you will need access to the developers portal, which I will post a link in chat. You basically sign into your own Discord, or you sign in with your Discord stuff, and then you can create a new application. So that's what I'm going to do right here. We're going to call it recreational reservations because we use the recreation.gov to find our reservations. So we can hit create. And now we just need to get a couple stuff. So we're going to head on over to the OAuth section. Sorry, the bot section. We're going to build a bot. add a bot to this app? Yes, I will. Wild bot has appeared. I don't fully remember all the stuff that this needs, but I'm pretty sure it needs to be able to send messages and direct message. Nope, I think it's just send messages. So we also need to copy. We also need a token. So I'm going to grab that token. And now we should be able to play with our bot a little bit. So I need to add the bot to the server. This is something that I forget how to do like 9 times out of 10. So we're gonna attempt to remember how to do this. I think, oh boy. Grant OAuth permissions, send message. That should be that. That's that. We need to OAuth general. Add redirect. We're going to Google it. Add Discord bot to server developer. There we go. Adding bots to your servers. You need to find a bot. You need to make a bot invite link. So we go to URL generator. It needs to be able to be a bot. It needs to be able to send messages. And there we get an invite link. So we're going to invite this bot to our server. There we go. It can send messages. And it is a human. Well, it is not a human. It's a bot. But I'm the human that controls it. So now we're going to go over to our bot. We're going to go grab our token. And we're going to then make a little bit of a Discord bot. Or work on our little Discord bot. So let's move you out of here for now. I'm going to make a new workspace. Alrighty. We're going to put that there. We need to log in to me. One moment. Actually, let's just do this in a browser. Open Discord in browser. Boop. There we go. Hey, look, the bot has entered the channel. Awesome. So now we're going to use a library that's wrapped around the Discord API. I'm going to make a new file here just so we can test it. We're going to call it test.py, and we're just going to import Discord. If you don't have this, which you probably don't, all you need to do is just pip install Discord in whatever way you need it. So import Discord. To use a Discord bot, we need a token, which I have copied and pasted. And then all that we really need to do to run the Discord bot is do a client.run. And that will run the bot and get it all started and ready to go. Couple things that we need to do a couple things. We need to make the client. There are some intents that it needs, which is just I'm not entirely certain exactly what it is, but it's just a way of verifying that the bot has the permissions it has. So, for example, meshes content, it needs to be true. And then we make our client with those intents, and then we tell the client to run. The other thing that we can do is we can define client events. So, for example, on ready, we can make the client do something. So we wait until the client is ready. And why don't we look at the Discord Python documentation. Discord Python. Welcome to discord.py. We can see they have a little get it starting link here. And we can look at manuals. Maybe they have like there's an introduction right there. Alrighty. Now we can see how to get it to send a message, for example. quick start. So we need message. Why don't we just search it? Send. DM channel. Let's see if this is what we want. Probably does not look like it. How do I send a message to a specific channel? Here we go. So it looks like we do client.getChannel and then channel.send the thing that we want to send. So let's do channel equals clients.getChannel. And that is going to give us an ID of some sort of channel. So if we look here at this, if I right click on this, I believe it won't, or will it? Yeah, it should give me a channel ID. I might need to enable developer settings. One moment. If you don't have developer settings enabled, I believe you go to advanced and you click on developer mode in Discord. So now if I right click on a channel, copy channel ID, and then we can paste it there. And then we can do channel.send hello world. Okay. Does my terminal work still? Nope, it doesn't. I will fix that later. No idea what I broke. You know what, we're just going to make this big so y'all can see it. Python 3 campsite.py. Sorry, that's not it. We want test.py. Reservation. You just need to make sure you have Discord installed, which I do under that particular one. So now if we do test.py, requesting privileged attendance that had not been explicitly enabled in the developer portal. I think I know exactly what that error is, and I will go back and fix it. I'm going to go to Discord developer portal. Here we go. We need to generate the URL again, and this one is going to be a bot that has read view messages. I think we just need to give it admin privileges, honestly. It's probably not the correct way to do this, but it's the way that we're about to do it. Because I want to make this thing actually work. And to be fair, it's only going to a server that is literally just me that I have just created. So now if we send the test, Charity is requesting privileged attendance that have not been explicitly enabled in the developer portal. Oh, presence intent, server members intent, message content intent. Save changes. So you need to do this in order for the bot to receive message content, which lets it listen to messages. So now if we do this. Oh. This library uses asynchronous stuff, or asynchronous programming, which basically is just a fancy way of saying we need to make sure that we use the word await a bunch. And await will wait until things are sent before letting us continue. And if you heard a little bloop in the background, that was hello world being sent here, which means that we have been successful in creating a Discord bot using Discord's API. Now, all we need to do is, instead of it saying hello world, we have it send us campsite information. There is a really, really, really neat extension in the Discord library, called tasks, which lets you schedule tasks. And all you do is you put a little decorator before this, a sync def send campsites. And what this will do is it will send a DM, or we're going to have it send a DM if it finds a campsite. So let's have it do that. We're going to get the channel that we want to send it in. It's going to send it to that channel in the server we just created. We're then going to get campgrounds equals check availability, or not check availability. It's check. I'm just going to close that for now. We don't need that. And if we do, I'll just reopen it. We want to put this all in one file. So let's grab all the stuff out, because this is just the file that we want to run anytime we want to find a campsite. So we create the Discord object that this is information about our campsite. And then we can copy and paste that to the bottom of this. All right. So we have our thing that we want to loop. It's going to be check campsite. We have our campground ID, start date. Actually, check the campground. And date. Alrighty. And then all we really want to do is send messages if we find an available campground. So we're going to now do a little channel, or we're going to iterate over all the campgrounds that we return here. For campground in campgrounds, I guess campsite. Nomenclature is hard. For campsite in campsites, channel.send sites available. We're going to make that an F string there. Site available campsite. And let's just see what happens if we run this. Last thing that we need to do, in order to start this loop in our on ready, we need to do the send campsite start, which will start it once every second, or every minute. Every second would be pretty bad. All right, now we're going to do campsite.py. Hopefully it'll work. And I don't hear it yelling at me. Let's do a little bit of debugging. Print campsites. And let's see. We're not even getting to the print campsites. That's super weird. I wonder why. Oh, no, we are. There it is. But there are no campsites available. Oh, that's right, because we changed it to Indian Cove Campground, which, as we've discussed, doesn't have a single campsite available because it is very busy. Why don't we change it to the Camping at Camp Face? Campground, Camping at Camp Face. We have the ID of Camping at Camp Face. Do not book this place. Got it. Understood. Let's look at Camping at Camp Face instead. Oh, we need, so again, the wait thing. Oh, wait. Let's give that a try again. I believe in us. And now I just heard a ping. I heard a lot of pings, and it says site available at all of these places. So that's not super useful because now I need to go figure out what is this campsite? How do I get to it? Where is it? So why don't we take a look here, and instead of sending that, we can send the URL. Site available at recreation.gov/camping/campsites/campsite ID. So now if we go ahead and do this, I heard a bunch of pings, lots and lots of them. And if we go and look, it has sent us all of these campsites. So now all you need to do is run this bot somewhere that will be running 24/7 for a particularly popular campsite. And then eventually it will ping you with information about the campsite. You can then go click it, and you can go book your site at Camping McCampface. Awesome. Thank y'all for sticking with me and having a fun time doing it. I enjoyed putting up a tent and just having a blast doing this. Honestly, I like camping. I thought it would be fun to put together the spot, and I had a good time putting it all together. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Sorry if I went a little bit fast there near the end. I wanted to make sure that we got this in time. I suppose the meat and potatoes of this is really being able to find the campground, which we were able to do using that URL there that we scraped from the recreation.gov site. But yeah, love to hear how y'all are doing. I can probably put this on GitHub if y'all would like a link to it. So in case you would like to use this yourself, that might be kind of fun. Hopefully y'all learned a little bit about how to find hidden APIs behind things. And for the record, the recreation.gov APIs are very happy with you doing this. They just haven't really fully released it yet. I found a post all about it, and there was apparently a lobby that was trying to get this available to people, and they did, which is real exciting. All right. Well, if that's the case, then we can get all wrapped up. I'm going to go back into my tent and have maybe take a nap or something in it, and roll up a sleeping bag. All right. Well, thanks y'all for being here. It's been super fun. I enjoyed being a goofball on stream, putting up a tent and working on a bot. It's been real cool. And I will see y'all next stream. Bye. Oh, wait, one last thing. Don't forget, I'm going to post a link again, to check into this stream if you'd like points or community points. Let me go find that link. That's how I highlight the link. Can I copy and paste it? That would be cool. There it is. Exciting stuff. All right. Well, thanks y'all for being here. And I'll catch y'all at the campsite next time. Don't forget, we have this campsite booked, so expect to see y'all there. Thanks. Bye.